Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very special episode of Community Outbreak. My name's Greg Henniger, your community manager, and you are?
I am Adam Clegg, senior game designer.
That's right, and we have a very special guest with us today. It is his first live stream ever?
Yeah, something like that.
All right, perfect.
All right.
So if you want to introduce yourself.
Troy Schramm, game designer. I spent 10 years at Rockstar. I've worked on Red Dead Redemption, GTA 5, Midnight Club Series, table tennis.
I've heard of a few of those.
Yeah, just,
Table tennis.
yeah.
Nice. I actually really enjoyed table tennis.
That was a lot of fun to work on.
Yeah. So what is it that you do on the H1Z1 team?
Level design, for the most part. We're on the world team.
Mhm.
A lot of what we're doing is just improvements to the current map and then also working on the remaster. So
Right. Awesome. So what is it about this project in particular, the Z1 remastering process, that you find most interesting?
So in a competitive shooter environment, it's a lot of fun to create spaces where competitive gunplay can take place. Counterplay, just outwitting somebody else by throwing a grenade down one hallway and flanking them from another hallway. Basically creating those spaces where those emergent gameplay pieces can happen.
Totally.
So,
And that was something you did when you were working on Red Dead Redemption, you said?
yeah, I was a principal map creator for a lot of the PvP combat. Had a little bit of touch on free roam and stuff. So like the Zonky, if anybody played multiplayer and you got up to that max rank and you unlocked that zebra donkey, I single-handedly put that in. So with the
Nice.
help of an artist.
Perfect. All right, cool. So we're just going to jump into, again, today is going to be predominantly about Z1 and Z1 Remaster. So make sure you put those types of questions you have in the chat. Adam and I will be looking at chat, kind of answering questions as we go along. So let's just kick it over to what we're looking at here.
Ooh, fancy. I just realized you have control up here.
That's right.
Ooh,
We got
this is nice.
the Stream Deck. We taking it to the next level here.
Oh, man.
Yes, Greg, you want to tell the viewers a little bit about the lovely Stream Deck we got from Elgato?
Yeah, I mean, if people are familiar with the Stream Deck,
Can we
it's
play some,
oh.
are we playing like
Product
Price is
placement.
Right music right
Yeah.
now?
Da-da-da-da. Basically lets you control your stream with hot buttons, and you can dive down to folders and subfolders and everything.
I totally
It's
didn't
super
mean
cool.
that to turn into like a product thing.
Yeah.
I just thought it was cool.
You totally did, though.
My bad.
What? Elgato. Ta-da. All right. So what are we looking at right here?
All right, so this is mostly the garage that was pulled out of the original Z1 map.
And we're deleting it.
And delete.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and as you can see, it's been placed together like in the most inefficient way possible. Like there's literal independent pieces. If I could talk, this would be an efficient stream.
Zoom in on it a little bit so people could see a little bit more.
Like
Yeah.
if you come in like this, there's overlapping tiles and everything, and that's when you get a lot of Z fighting and
Mhm.
stuff like that.
So
That's-
each one of those, it's its own.
And can you explain Z fighting to people that don't? Because
Alright.
it sounds like a Z1 thing, but
So
it's
if you're
not.
running through the game and you stare at a wall and that wall just starts flickering and you feel like you're about to have convulsions and go to the ER because it's
Basically,
just-
the textures are
Yeah.
going back and forth on top of each other. That's Z fighting.
that's Z fighting.
And Z1 had a lot of Z fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's due to all of these individual pieces kind of
Yeah, kind of
intersecting.
overlapping on top of each other. It's like you take a really flat piece and put it already on another flat piece on the
Yeah.
ground, and they're so close to each other that they just
Yeah,
and,
the game
and,
has a hard time distinguishing
Yeah.
between which layer to draw first.
and especially coming in parachuting, you see
yeah.
all of that flickering. So we're trying to like get rid of it
Yeah.
everywhere possible.
We can kind of illustrate that if we zoom out and you start seeing the flickering going on between all of those
yeah.
pieces.
Yeah.
If you were to come in like this, all of that flickering, that would all be Z fighting. So, no bueno. So what we've done is, and this is a cleaned up version of what I pulled out of Z1. So what we've done is we've taken this base area, and in order to preserve it, we built
Keyword being preserve.
Yes. We wanted to preserve the basic layout of what's going on. We have a main entrance here. We have a two-tiered garage here.
Oh, before we go any further, where is this on the map?
This is in Pleasant Valley,
Mhm.
the north end of it, right across from the big supermarket.
Oh,
that's in there.
Romero's?
Yeah, Romero's.
Okay, perfect.
So
Just to give Z1 gamers some context as to what we're looking at.
yeah. So what we did was we went in and we cleaned it up.
Look at how
Nice.
nice
As you
that
can
looks.
see it, like, yeah, if we do a little side-by-side comparison, this is the new clean version, and That's the old convoluted.
This
Yeah.
also helps performance too.
Correct. There's far fewer objects. And we should also iterate, too, that this is purely the gray block. This is purely for game design, the space we want to lay out. This is not indicative of final art. An artist is going to go in with this and touch it up and make it look like a proper garage with all the fun textures and bells and whistles and grime and bullet holes.
Can you fly inside so people can see that it's still the same kind of type of garage inside?
Yeah,
as they
so we can pull the roof off.
Yeah.
You know, come in here, we have staircases. So what we've done is we've kind of added some staircases in here so you're not in basically a dead
trap.
end. Yeah, a trap, a one-way, like somebody chases you in here or you go in here to hold up until the very last 5 minutes of the game or something like that. We want you to be able to go in there, outflank somebody, you know, come in, maybe outmaneuver somebody, throw a grenade down this stairwell while running up this stairwell, you know, to come up and shoot them from behind.
There already was a stairwell, the one on the left. You just moved it from the bottom to the left. That's all.
Correct.
So it came up. So show where it comes out now.
So if we put our roofs back on, and we actually show the buildings too inside of this too.
So it makes a little more sense for where an exit should be on an area.
Yeah.
I really like what you did with this whole space. I mean, just looking at the gray block or the gray box, you can tell it feels like a much more functioning area as well as better gameplay space area while still preserving the old Z1 footprint. Of where everything kind of is, with minor changes to like stairways.
Yeah,
but it still has the main entryway for the garage. It still has the same ramp on both sides. All those buildings are still exactly in the same spot.
Yeah,
Apartments are the same spot.
Key paths are still where they should be. We've just, by opening up the, oops, wrong button. By opening up the garage a little bit more and doing some even spacing with the pillars, we can actually get a vehicle in there, and you can, you know, come busting inside of a vehicle and shoot the place up and still drive back out without like crashing into like a very narrow drive space.
Yeah, and the coming around that corner you were saying earlier is widened a little bit. So you're not
this corner is literally twice as wide. So if you tried to drive a car in here before, you literally could not get around the corner. You would hit the corner and your car would explode. It was all kinds of badness. So a lot of what we're doing is making the space more playable.
And this is kind of the stage we're at currently in the remastering process.
Yeah, and this is where we're at across the entire map. This is just one piece that Troy grayboxed out, but we have most of the map grayboxed in terms of we've done the gameplay changes that need to happen. It's just we've done the footprint, like we put everything in the same spot, like Indiana Jones, like, you know, switching the bag. But now the rest of the game still needs to get built on top of that, and of course all the art needs to get made.
Right, right.
Like we can look at this in an overhead and see, you know, the same paths are there from the previous garage. So it's if you knew coming around the corner you were going to have X amount of space to the ramp, we're preserving that for the most part.
Cool.
Now, if we want to switch, we want to show the legacy map first.
Yeah, we can certainly do that.
Yeah, so now we're going to be able to let you see inside what it used to look like and what the new one looks like.
So, now that this is loaded up, you can see.
So this is the legacy map, right?
This is Z1 with old stuff. Like he can't jump over the wall.
So stuff like that is just, you know.
There's like all these little gameplay nuances everywhere that are really annoying. You can like watch. Actually, go back to that doorway where the brick wall is. There's like that little tiny space between the pillar and the building.
Yeah.
Like
stuck,
like stuff like that just all needs to get cleaned up, and we're talking about moving things fractions of you know,
feet,
meters.
Yeah.
But so this was the old kind of busted stairway, and
you wanted to show them the old apartments.
Yeah, the old apartments were really narrow, and it was really hard to like kind of go up and around these pathways, and all these double doors having to get into all this stuff was really.
This is like your camera pops every time you go through the doorway.
Yeah. So we'll see on the new apartments. You'll kind of get the
flow,
the gist of it. You can't get out that window. Like if you actually really wanted to, it just, you know.
Yeah.
So go back downstairs and go back to the parking garage area and kind of show the new stuff.
Yeah, and we're running all of these things on internal dev launchers and things like that. So you might see some some general wonkiness or low FPS and stuff like that. This is all internal things that.
This is in development. This is not indicative of the final product.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this little MC Escher-esque area of intersecting walls and just, yeah, we've cleaned this up.
Very early access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
you had mentioned when I first showed it to you that you didn't even know that there was a garage on the side.
well, a lot of people don't even really run. Basically, a lot of people don't even drive into this area because of that wall. The little mini wall right there, if you're
Yeah.
coming down the
Oh,
road.
yeah. Mhm.
So this little wall right here stopped a lot of
Yeah.
cars from going into that entrance, because what they would do is they would just drive past the end of it, not look to the left, and just go right in through the center there.
Yeah.
So also, you couldn't get through here anyways because that gate was unbreakable and it was too hard to fit a car
And
through there.
at that time, if you had wedged your car into
It would
that
explode.
gate, your car
Instantly
would
explode.
instantly explode.
So this is basically all new. When he shows you the new one, this is like a brand new area that I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of people, even Z1 gamers, only like the really hardcore survival Z1 players probably explored that space multiple times, where if you're playing Battle Royale, you would have just drove right past it and gone in through the middle or gone to the right to Romero's.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the key factor here, right? Is we're trying to take a map that was created for survival, kind of got BR shoehorned on top of it,
Yeah.
and now we're taking that map, keeping the essence of it, but making it BR.
Making it actually more competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're being real here and we're trying to take a game and have it be a competitive sport, you can't do that with a map that is built for a survival game. It's survival's about high realism, kind of slower paced, waiting, finding a hiding spot. That's not
Yeah.
what Battle Royale is about. Our Battle Royale H1Z1 is really about being more fast paced, and a lot of these restricted areas and camera movements and just not being able to go anywhere is just kind of it just doesn't feel right when you play a fast paced shooter. So you can go into the new area.
All right. I'm going to switch over.
Yeah.
All right. So this is roughly the same area. I'll take you through the same spot. So this is where that wall was that you couldn't jump over. We might add something back in. Again, this
It'll
is
probably be most likely a wall that you can jump over.
Yeah, it'll be something.
Again,
that you
this
can
isn't
accessible.
final.
Yeah, this is, as you can see, it's still very much in the gray block stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, the vehicles are placed here just as placeholder to illustrate what it could look like. This is not indicative of the
For
final gameplay.
people who are unfamiliar with game development, do you want to give a quick description on what gray block means?
Troy?
Okay, gray blocking is purely how a level designer wants to create the space to illustrate how gameplay would take place. So if we give myself an AR real quick, reload. So if you want to figure out, hey, how do I want this space to play? Do I want to be able to come down and shoot at somebody else coming down the other stairwell, and then maybe double back up and around like that? That's what a lot of these simple shapes, before they get fully arted, you do some simple gray blocking, which is why it looks gray. And it's blocky.
Yeah.
Hey, gray blocking.
You're basically creating gameplay space before art has to do the work of making
Exactly.
it look really nice. If you waited for art to do the work every time you wanted to create gameplay, it would take a lot of time to do iterations, and it would just be, are you going to do it?
No, game over, man.
Slash revive, I think, yeah, you should be.
Crash and dead.
But basically, you want to do fast iteration of gameplay changes and to test them and to play the areas to make sure what you're creating is right. And then once you have it right and the gameplay space is great, then you have art come in and make it look really awesome. You can show that in a little flyover.
Yeah, we can do some flyover. The
So
residential area.
those gray blocked houses are the ones that have already been touched up.
Already been touched up. You can go through the doorways. You can jump out the windows now.
Yeah.
They're all in the same spots as the old Z1. We really wanted to make sure that we didn't compromise the footprint of Z1, because so it still looks like Z1.
Yeah.
Right. So a Z1 gamer who isn't really noticing all the little minor things that we're doing gameplay-wise can still play the game if they haven't played in a year or even 2 years. They can come in here and it'll still feel like the exact same map, but they'll be able to tell that something it feels a little more fluid. You'll be able to fight a little easier.
Yeah.
So go into the hallways of the
Alrighty.
the apartment building.
Drop to your death.
You're good. So you can see before every time you went through a doorway, the camera would jerk down, and now it feels like a little easier to like kind of walk away and run through here, and it's just a lot more fluid to be able to run around the apartments.
It's not nearly as claustrophobic.
It's not nearly as claustrophobic.
Yeah, your camera can swing around behind you now.
Can you go to the other ones too that are north, east? Or north? Yeah.
Just Superman real quick and fly over there. Yay.
No, the up more.
Oh,
going the
these ones.
Yeah, go to those ones.
Yeah.
So go to the taller apartments. There we go.
Yeah.
And so if you're pretend you're coming in parachute.
Oh,
So
okay.
go way high up. So you're coming down here and you're flying in parachute and you're gonna land at the top of the apartments. So you could loot up the top here, and making your way down these apartments before was such a tedious task of opening so many doors and getting your camera. Like, look at how much more space you have now to run around and run down these floors. And then you can kind of run into the apartments. It's just everything feels kind of like it's supposed to. You know, he was able to easily break the window and jump through it. Look across the street from there.
Yeah.
You can pick a bike. Now you'll have a gun,
Pow, pow,
and you'll
pow.
be able to shoot across.
Mhm.
It's just the improvements that we're making to the gameplay. You guys are going to notice immediately. And it's going to feel like Z1 because everything's in the same spots, but everything's just going to feel so much more fun to fight in. And that's kind of the magic of the remaster.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't a remaster, it would just be a Battle Royale game on a survival map, and it would still have all of the old problems with that come along with it. You can go back to the garage now.
All right.
And just to touch some of these questions, not entirely indicative of Z1 right now, but we are trying to push out a new test
Spawn a vehicle.
update.
You can.
A new test update. Hopefully tonight. It's looking more like tomorrow or possibly Friday, but it's going to fix that that camera stutter with the recoil that I know a lot of you guys have been reporting, and a few other improvements. We've been working with our focus group and other people on some recoil improvements on the test server. If you guys haven't checked out test server and all the weapon changes there, please do. But like I said, we've got an update hopefully tonight, but more likely tomorrow or Friday. And make sure you follow H1Z1 on Twitter and go on our Reddit and things like that for when we post full patch notes.
About to win a skin, I hope.
About to win a skin, I hope.
About to win a skin, I hope. So yeah, so basically, it's, you know, Troy obviously is not a racer gamer here. He's not going at full speeds because he's, you know, preserving. But basically, you can if you are a very good driver, you're very competitive team. You guys are trying to drive around Z1 pretty fast. You'll be able to drive around it faster now without having to worry about getting caught up on so many things around the world.
So initially, hearkening back to what you said earlier about that wall that was preventing you from going into the other garage, if you're coming in from the north and
You have an option now. Boom.
Nope. Damn car physics.
Uh-huh.
So you could either, you know, stay up top, loot that up, come down, you start taking fire from the other building, maybe pop out.
Get stuck in the gray block.
Yeah.
So now when the art team does come in here and start laying down props and things like that, they're still going to preserve the more fluid open layout that the gray blocking has accomplished.
Yeah,
correct.
It's not they're gonna apply textures to it, and it's gonna look like Z1. It's just it's easy to see because it's all gray the differences, but when all of the textures are applied and it still looks like Z1, it'll still feel like you know, like the old map, just a little bit better.
I really want to make that window.
Oh,
no bueno.
Troy's been actually doing a lot of work on Pleasant Valley. You want to do a little tour, maybe?
Yeah, we can do a little tour. This is the U shops that you've probably recognized from the air.
this area will look really nice once it all gets textured up. I remember an old Z1 that U area was kind of rough on the texture side. It definitely was very early access. But nobody's fault. It's
the
just
courtyard.
we were building it so fast.
With the clock tower.
But all this stuff will start to look really nice now, and Z1 will get its proper beautification.
Yeah, you'll notice the footprint stays majority the same.
Yeah.
Show
Please-
AK
Yeah,
Alley.
go down to the right, to AK Alley. I know how this is going to work. It's going to be like show AK Alley, and this going to be like show Bumjick. It's going to be like show military.
Right now it's show warehouses.
Show, yeah, go down to the left, yeah. So yeah, it's still the same that you guys always remember. So you guys don't have to worry about us deleting things or changing things too much. We're really just
Or
trying
adding POIs.
Yeah, well, we're just really trying to optimize the areas that you guys are so used to playing in and having fun in. Yeah, go to the residential area.
Yeah, just gonna swing over there real quick.
So with optimizing the footprint and the layouts of certain buildings, are we doing? I'm asking a leading question. I actually know the answer to this. Are we changing up the?
Oh, I was coming from nowhere.
The ground. The
terrain.
Yes, the terrain as well.
So the terrain is being touched up in terms of it's getting all of the really edgy spikes. Like there's stretched terrain, there's spiky terrain, there's holes in the terrain, there's basically bugs. And what we're doing right now is going through the process of smoothing a lot of it out. We're not deleting major hills. We're not taking chunks out of big pieces of the terrain that you like. Your favorite, little wedge that you used to hide behind, most likely will still be a little wedge that you can hide behind. So we're really just doing a smoothing of the terrain. The one piece that we are changing, that's a big change, actually two things. There's two pieces of the terrain that we're changing kind of a lot. One of them is the gorge, because it was impossible to get out of the gorge. So we are going to work on that. It's not
I
in this,
died so many times in there.
It's not in this. It's not in this build. But the level designers are going to kind of change up the little gorge area that you would get stuck in, and we're also going to take the Vishant's Peak radio tower and make it a bigger area play space. So before you would land at the radio tower, and it was literally a shack and a fenced radio tower.
Right.
With nothing. You found a pistol. It was awful. So we're going to take that space and kind of make it a little bigger to make it an actual good place to land. Other than that, it's a lot of really smoothing out and fixing it. Vishant's Peak, it is a tall mountain that's hard to get up. I'm sure we'll have spaces that'll be easier to kind of climb it instead of like trying to climb halfway up and then sliding all the way back down. I remember, it's like burned into my brain. Dr. Disrespect jumping up mountains and then sliding down Vishant's Peak, and the whole time he's sliding down Vishant's Peak, he's like, "These level designers, they just need to figure out what they're doing." And I'm just like, "Oh God, this terrain." So we're fixing up the terrain. Yes, to answer your question.
Okay, perfect. And so things like on the back side, like I know you were talking earlier about these retaining walls.
Yeah.
And adding little stairways and things like that.
Well, we can actually switch back to the old legacy map to give a nice comparison between.
Yeah, show what it would look like without the retaining wall.
All right. Line these up so you can actually see them.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So.
Good idea.
Ready?
Yeah. So this is a good idea. Like when you were coming towards this, you had no idea which part of this terrain was climbable, and you basically had to just press W and spacebar and try and guess what part of it you could climb up.
And once you got up there was walls. Anyways.
Yeah. So
right.
Very nice playable space. Prison apartments, completely walled off and defensible against zombies, but not very good for BR, as you said. And if we switch back, can actually show that
nice.
You look at that and you go, "Oh, I can't climb up that.
I need to go over to the staircase." There's multiple staircases on the sides. Otherwise, I know I cannot go up that, and driving a vehicle into that would probably be a bad idea. So
just to iterate here, this is not final art. The way that it looks in a gray block is always usually very rough compared to how it looks when it's finished. So we can move stairs, we can make things thinner, we can change the way the ramps look, So just understand this is just so we can get in here and play it and see what it feels like.
Yeah, and to reiterate on that as well, we will make sure that you guys will have a chance to try out the map before we push it all the way live. We'll have it on the test server at some point.
Whoa, Greg dropping bombs.
What? We have a test server,
Do we?
but huh?
I don't. Nobody has asked me to put it on test server yet.
No one's ever asked
No,
you.
it's
to put it on?
weird. Like
Oh.
not one person.
Oh.
So yes, like
Greg
what,
is that one person.
so what Greg mentioned is there will be, obviously you guys will get to play this on test server when we're able to layer a little more of the actual game on top of it. Right now it's literally a Monopoly board. You can have a Monopoly board and make a new one, but if you don't have any of the pieces that make the game work, it's not a game.
Right.
So this is just a map with no gas, no spawning, no parachutes, no loot, no car spawns. Like all the stuff that makes it a game is not attached to this yet.
Yeah.
And we're not sure if we're ready to have the public play these gameplay changes because a lot of it is us trying things out. So we don't know when we will let the players play it on test, but it will be put on test eventually.
Yeah. So as of right now, we don't have an exact ETA on when you guys will be able to get your hands on it, but when we do, we'll make sure we share that with you.
Yeah, and it's definitely not a stubborn thing where we just don't want to give it to you. It's literally just like we need to finish the actual layers of the game on top of it, and we need to make sure it's ready because we understand that this is a really big piece of content that the players are really excited about. And when it goes to test server, we want it to be a big impact.
Yeah,
sure.
we know how important Z1 is to you guys, and it's equally important, as if not more important
Super
to us,
important to us.
that we make sure that you guys have an actual good experience on it before we put it in your hands.
For sure. Yeah, and it's there's a lot of memories and passion and good times. I was just looking at H1Z1 YouTube videos, and all these old Z1 videos, and there's so many good memories that people have of playing Z1. The worst thing that we could do is compromise that by changing too much. And so hopefully, I hope you guys look at what we had with just Troy flying around, and you guys saw that it still really looks and feels like Z1.
Yeah,
that was a big goal for us, for sure.
Absolutely. It's the remaster of Z1
And
Remastered.
now we're just remastering everything. Hey, we should call it Z1 Remaster.
We might as well. Are there any other spaces we want to check out?
Nope, I think that's good. I think I gave him enough.
We could always do this again.
We could do this again. I don't know. We are going through Troy's spaces because this is the stuff that Troy has finished and has been willing to show on stream. Yeah. I wouldn't want to show other people's work on stream if they weren't ready for it and didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So
we're going to have more streams in the future, so keep your eyes and ears open for that. We'll take a few questions from chat. We're not going to be talking about weapon models or recoil and things like that. This is
not a combat stream.
This is not a combat stream.
That's Cardo.
Yeah, that's Cardo and Brondad.
Go bug Brondad and Cardo.
So if you guys have questions in here that we have not already answered, we'll take a look in chat, and Troy can keep running around showcasing some of the improvements from here.
Romero's?
Yeah.
All right, you got it.
Also, for everyone who's spamming old models, old combat, whatever you guys are saying in here, the combat guys over the last couple weeks, over the last little bit longer even, but the last couple weeks for sure have been staying late every night, tuning and testing new combat changes that they are getting super happy with. I sit right next to those guys, and they're having a lot of fun tuning and testing and getting feedback, and I'm really excited about what they're going to do. So
yeah, and they're getting feedback, from a very diverse group of players. It's not just the pro scene. They've got hyper engaged players as well. They've got
old players, new players.
Yeah, old players, new players. Very diverse group that are they really do seem like
also, they're not too shabby themselves.
No, of course, yeah. We didn't ask them. We didn't just be like, "Oh, you just bought the game? Come join us." And tell us what you think.
That's a common mantra that I like to repeat is that you guys are very good at listening to and involving the community in these tests. At the end of the day, you guys are combat game designers, and you are pretty good at it. So kind of, you know, listen to the feedback, take it in. If it's really overwhelming, you can kind of discuss it. But at the end of the day, you guys are pretty good at what you do. You got to believe in yourself and see it through.
You know, Austin powers this.
Yeah, any recoil or audio or things like that you hear on this version is not indicative of what we're playing on the focus group test server and things like that. So
do the ramp on the other side. See if you could. So we had a player named Ninja Chris, and he used to be able to take that hill and ramp up to the. It was amazing. Remember, it happened on a stream, didn't it?
Yeah.
He came down here, so turn around, and I think he ramped off that hill, and he was able to turbo all the way onto the roof of the other building. It was insane.
He probably had a ton of momentum going too.
See.
Yeah, we need our hype button.
Oh no!
Oh, I'm sure you can do it still, because we didn't really mess with it too much. But we need Ninja Chris's skills. He was very, very good at that.
So a big question that's popping up: Box of Destiny.
Box of Destiny. So right now we are in a state of, you know, what is the right move for it, because there's two kinds of ways to look at the Box of Destiny. There's putting people in the old Box of Destiny, and then there's possibly, and I don't know how final this is or if this could change, so please don't take it as like the truth. But it would be kind of interesting to see if before the game starts, it's just combat practice, and then the game starts and you start the game.
That was pretty close.
So depending
the first story.
Depending on you know, how we can explore that and the feedback from that, it would be kind of interesting to have the lobby just be combat practice, and then you just fly in. If that's not
and
feasible,
maybe Easter egg the Box of Destiny in there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, so no matter what, Box of Destiny is going to be in Z1, so you can fly in, go to it, and go see it, and it'll still be there. So no matter what, you'll be able to see the old Box of Destiny. It's just right now, I think what we're exploring with is it better to just let people do combat practice and play and shoot and warm up before a game starts, or should they just sit in another lobby in an old Box of Destiny? So it's a tough question to ask, to be honest. I don't know the answer. I mean, I have, you know, thoughts on it, but we don't really know what we want to do. But guaranteed, old Box of Destiny will be there, so you can go.
Confirmed.
You can go look at it.
Confirmed.
Greg, what? Don't do that.
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
That's all we do on this stream is we just confirm.
Bow to
things.
win a skin, I hope.
Bow to win a skin, I hope.
Bow to win
Are we
a
giving
skin,
away
I
a skin?
hope.
We are not.
Dude, I'm bow to win a skin, I hope.
You hope?
You hope?
Tune in. So no community outbreak this week. We'll be back next week for community outbreak, and you can battle win a skin. You hope
On the next community outbreak?
on the next community outbreak.
Okay, I better see everyone spamming that in the chat next community outbreak.
Bow to win
Because
a skin, I hope.
it's so pure.
Yeah, it's a
it's
good
just
one.
like go into any dev stream, and before it starts, just go bow to win a skin, I hope. Bow to win a skin. It was the double. It was the fact that
Yeah.
it was put twice is what
Bow
really.
to win a skin, I hope.
All right.
All about it.
Good job, Troy. I think
Yeah,
you did really
things are
good
looking
for your
good.
first live stream. You're natural, and your work is
Sure.
amazing. And
Where do you go
a
from
lot
here?
of people are going to have a lot of fun in PV.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to start layering in more of the residential area. I kind of want to not fill in, but some of these areas, one of the things we did on Z2 that was actually well received for the most part were the rocks. Everybody
the new
loves rocks. The new rocks, like
Yeah.
as covers. So like this is a good example from the Z1 map of a big open area where if you were running across this or driving across this, somebody on the rooftop could just open up and
Yeah.
you had no options for counterplay at all.
Also, let me reiterate, the rocks are going to still be Z1 rocks.
Ice cream scoop rocks.
They're going to be the Z1 rocks that you remember in Z1. I think the sizes just might be a little more game playable. Some of the rocks in Z1 are just like useless. You can't even hide behind them. They just don't really do anything. So, not sure how much we'll use Z2 rocks on Z1, if we will, but not. But right now we're kind of looking at. We're still looking at the Z1 rocks that were there. But
For everybody, spamming old weapon models, old movement. We don't have much to say about that today. I was
don't have anything to say about that.
I was talking with Tony right before I came down. They are working on some animations to bring it to take care of ENAS, but like ENAS is an issue that we want to address, and so they are working on those things right now. But that's not something we're showing off today in our Z1 live stream.
Yeah, and honestly, the only difference between a Z2 rock and a Z1 rock is just the way it looks. You can scale a rock in the game and make it bigger or smaller, and just make it the same size. So if you guys like the Z2 rocks because of the size, it'll feel the same way. It has the Z1 rock texture because we want it to feel like Z1.
Same look, better gameplay.
Same look, remastered. Yeah. That's actually good. Same look, better gameplay.
Everybody keeps wanting you to open the map, but I think the map is broken on...
I don't think it shows anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a load error.
This is why it's not on test.
Yeah. This and several other reasons.
And that goes back to what you were saying about a lot of the reasons that we can't show this is because it's literally just the world.
It's the Monopoly board.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any of the pieces.
All right, we'll take a few more questions, and then we'll close it out for today. Let's see. Push. So we're basically sticking around this PV area because that's the portion that
Troy has
Tony,
been working on.
Yeah, Troy. I keep calling you Tony, man.
Hey,
Tony on here all the time.
There's enough Tonys.
There are a lot
I
of
can pass
Tonys.
I can pass for a Tony.
There are many Tonys here.
Also, a lot of things that are going on is...
I saw a question. I don't know if you want me to.
Oh, go
say.
ahead.
Yeah.
One of the questions I saw was, are we sticking with the old textures or new ones?
So all of those gray, all that gray that you see is going to be a new texture that gets applied to it. That fence, even though it's an old texture, it could still possibly get a new texture. But if you're worried about the colors and the feel of how it's going to look, we are definitely going with the Z1 style, sort of like post-apocalyptic, survivalists, kind of like it feels like something happened here and it's kind of dilapidated. So we're not going to make everything all bright and new and shiny. So you guys don't have to worry about that. It's just going to be like remastered. It's going to look better. It's going to look like a finished non-alpha, non-early access texture. So that's part of the reason we're doing this remaster, so we can make it look better for you guys.
Old loot system.
Old loot system. What does that even mean? They want us to revert.
And
to
also old car spawns. Like, are the car spawns and loot spawns going to be in the same spot, or?
Well, the old loot spawn was broken.
Sarah Flanagan, by the way, everybody.
So
the voice of God.
So I can tell you this for sure: we're not going to make it where no medkits spawn, and then halfway through the game, then the medkits spawn because the loot system was broken. We are going to have the loot system that works now, and we're going to have it be layered on top of Z1. Now, what we want to do is still have fun little areas that are kind of like Easter eggs. So we'll still have AK Alley and have AKs spawn, more around AK Alley. So it's still there, but the rest of the map should function like Z2 functions in terms of the loot system. It should just, it's a very Cardo or Tony Morton spent a lot of good work with other programmers to make that system work really well, and so that's what we want to use for Z1. In terms of vehicle spawns, currently we haven't touched them. All the vehicle spawns are in the same spot. If anything, I could see us adding a few more because we will be adding a little more loot spots. Also in the north, we're probably going to add, like gas stations and stuff along the road where there's nothing. So I'm sure there'll be some more loot, vehicle spawns, but I don't think we need to touch the current ones.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah. I know you tweeted it out earlier. Do we want to show death cabins, or is that not on a good spot on this build?
It's not finished yet.
Okay.
I mean, you can fly over there. Might as well. End with the death cabins. Why not?
Yeah, we'll end the stream with the death cabins.
No, can you actually slash? I don't think so. I was like
slash death cabins.
I was like, what? That's new to me. It's right in the middle, so yeah, here. Fly up.
I just want to fly.
Yep. Keep going. Keep going. Turn left. A little more.
A little bit more.
A little more.
Roger, Roger. This is
No,
your
you gotta
captain
go left
speaking.
more.
We're going to the death cabins in a...
the Booty Clapital.
The Booty Clap.
Was always my favorite name.
Shout
for that
out
place.
to CD in the third.
Troy,
Yeah,
a question from chat, since I know a lot of our devs are
Capital.
active on Twitter. Are you on Twitter? And
I
if
am
you
not
are
on
or
Twitter.
not. Okay.
I do not tweet.
Okay, fair enough.
Because
But Clegg tweets if you
It's
want to
not
see
in the
stuff.
Twitterverse.
if you want to tweet something at me, it'll be care of the Clegg.
You got it. Nope. Nope. Nope.
No?
Nope. Turn around.
I got confused.
It's okay. Z2 Gamer over here.
Yep.
Doesn't know where Booty Capital is. Yeah, just keep going left a little more. Yeah, and then go in that direction for a little while.
All right.
Yeah, so the way the team is working on this map is in different pieces. Like like Troy was working on that area of Pleasant Valley.
Yeah, we have a few level designers, and we are.
Not trying to slash bust Troy for not knowing where the Booty Clapple is.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it's. I mean, he was at Rockstar making awesome games.
Yeah.
Come on, you can't fault him for that.
GTA 5.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of level designers that are basically working in different sections of the map. I'm trying to guide Troy and make sure that's why I'm trying to like tell him to turn right, Troy.
The other right?
Yep. He went like literally went the opposite direction. Turn right. Turn right.
More right?
Yeah. There you go.
I'm just following
You
directions.
were like right next to it. You only needed to like turn left a little bit, and then you like went fly away.
Dude, where's my co-pilot?
It's okay. We'll get there. It'll be just
Eventually.
fine. There it is. Oh, you're getting closer.
Done it.
Turn.
Oh, this is the
Nope,
dam.
that's the dam. Okay, turn right, turn right, turn right, turn right. They're right there. Boom.
There she blows.
What's
can
that?
go-
You
well,
spawned
you're
in?
so far away.
You
gotta
spawned
get-
in, and you're parachuting, and you're like, oh, I want to go to the death
You're
cabins.
like God spawn.
Man, this was definitely one of my favorite places to land, but always one of the most treacherous.
Well, I like landing across the bridge because if you could win the fight at the warehouses across the bridge,
And there's a car spawn over there, too.
yeah, you would get the police car, then drive down here and clean up this area, unless somebody killed you. But
There's a request in the chat for Troy to put on the bomber hat.
he's like, what? Oh, look at this, guys, you guys, it's too.
You did it, chat.
Be nice to him. He's new,
It's
chat.
his first live stream. He'll do things because you guys are peer pressuring him. Yeah. That's not fair.
I feel like we're on like the Great White North.
They can't hear you.
He did it, Reddit.
There we go. No, say it. What were you gonna say?
The Great White North, you know, Steve Kaczynski, you know, from SNL way back when.
Oh, okay.
Because they were Canadians, eh?
Ah, okay.
Hosers.
There it is. Oh, dude, turn around. Go. Pretend you're shooting at the. I would always blow up the barrel that was in the back of the. Not that one.
That one.
Still has old
That
Z1
one.
barrels.
Z1 barrels.
I would blow up the one that was in the pickup truck across the way because people had never really shot that one, and then all of a
Oh,
sudden
you're
I'd be
back.
like, "What the?" You're back. God, those things were so OP.
Oh, the instant death
No,
barrels.
no, it was in the other back of the. Nope, you can't even see it from here. It's on the other side of that trailer. But yeah, this was the spot. So you can see it has the gray boxed cabins in the same spot. We haven't really touched any of the other stuff yet.
Are
so-
smaller actor items like the trailers being touched at all?
Yeah, they are. They'll probably get replaced with a better trailer.
I want to say
it
this
already
is the
did.
Z2
Yeah, I was gonna
trailer,
say it
yeah.
already did. We
Yeah,
already
okay.
replaced it with the Z2 trailer. That's why
Yeah,
I
I
was
was like-
saying that. I was like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
So yeah, and the cars will probably get replaced and retextured so it doesn't look so, you know. But yeah, we're gonna do a lot of the so that's actually a good point. A lot of the stuff that you see is the gray box buildings, so we're switching out a lot of the big structures, but there's also a lot of new props that are coming in that'll make the world feel a little more alive, little updated textures of props, and there's many props for sure.
People are asking also about the berry bushes.
So I
Blackberries.
don't have any
Harvestable berries?
Yeah, I don't have any information on blackberry bushes just yet, just because we're still talking about it. And I don't want to say anything because I don't want to get caught saying something that might not happen. So
That is
no
a
information yet.
Wise.
They're
Like being able to play this on the test server.
Yeah.
Eventually. I didn't give any kind of timeline.
I will say that the blackberry bushes were for survival, to harvest blackberries so you could eat to survive.
Yeah.
Wasn't really a battle royale thing, but I understand that there's nostalgia there with the blackberry
Popping
bushes
2 health.
that people want to hide in them.
There were 2 health, right? Yeah.
So we'll see what goes down with that. And remember, we're trying to make this collaboratively with the world team. it would be no fun if I just came in as like a dictator and said, no, we're doing this and this and this and this, and you guys get to have no fun. So I talk with a level design lead, I talk with an art lead, I talk with an art director, and we all talk about things that are best for the game and for the map. If I just came in and told everybody what to do, nobody would like me, and that's no fun either. So you get what you want, but it's not really great environment to work in. I think you get better gameplay and design and art when you're more collaborative anyways. So that's why I don't want to answer the question about the blackberry bushes.
Sure. And we're also not talking about central servers on this stream as well. So,
yeah, cool. All right.
Yeah, I think that about does it for today's.
You guys got a good stream. This is a juicy piece of Z1 you guys got to see.
And we're gonna have more streams like this in the future, showing off different areas of the map as we get out of Grayblock stages. We'll be sure to share a lot of that with you, and then when it's ready for when it's in a place that you guys can actually get your hands on it, we'll let you know when that's going to happen. But we definitely want to make sure you guys can jump in here as well.
Cool.
Sarah, I saw you reaching across. Was there any
No, I was just going to ask if to take us out if you wanted to do like one last flyover over what you had for anyone who might have missed earlier. And then, Greg, if you want to sing while that happens, give us some music, maybe some Arms of the Angel.
Arms of the Angel.
Wow.
About to get a skin.
About a skin.
About to get a skin, I hope.
No.
All right. I do want to say for a lot of people who probably missed the intro to this stream, a lot of people are wondering about the new recoil that's on test server. We have cleaned up that jerkiness that's on the test server right now when it comes to the recoil. That should, again, this is very hypothetical. We want to see if we can get into a place to push it out to test server later tonight. If not, we're going to try and get it out before the weekend so that you guys can get your hands on it. But the focus group, the combat team, everybody, they think they're in a really good spot with weapon tuning and weapon balances. So at some point we can just be like, these are what the weapons are, and feel free to get back to relearning that muscle memory because we know the frustration of continuing to change it over and over and over again. But we think we're in a really great spot. So once we push that new build to test, please jump in there, give it a shot. Pun intended, and let us know what you think. No?
I liked it.
Thanks. But yeah, and so back to what we were flying over earlier. Just give you one final look at some of the new gray block for Pleasant Valley and some of the improvements.
Should be a lot of fun. It makes me really excited when I start to think about playtesting on it and getting back into Z1, baby.
I know, man. It's where we cut our teeth.
I know, I feel like we've gone to war together.
Yeah.
We're looking and we're like, yeah.
One of the very first live streams I ever did was right after we announced H1Z1, and we made that little like L-shaped base with the community.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
oh
that was a long time ago.
Wow.
I wonder if she lives in there somewhere.
Good
times.
Good times
Before
are about
my
to be had on Z1. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it as much as we are making it.
All right, that's it from all of us here. We hope you guys have a good rest of the day, and we're going to have more Z1 information in the future. And so make sure if you missed any of this to go back, watch the beginning of the VOD, any piece of it that you may have missed, and we will see you next time. If you want to take us out, Sarah.
See you later.
Bye.